It is easier to find men who will volunteer to die than to find those who are willing to endure pain with patience. Avoid any specific discussion of public policy at public meetings. Those who steal from one person spend their lives in shackles and chains. Those who steal from all people in purple and gold. Let arms yield to the toga.
Civis Romanus. What does it mean to be a citizen of a state? Multiple societies have struggled with that question through the ages. The possessions of Mauryan subjects technically belonged to the king who redistributed them however he saw fit, and Confucians strive for a harmonious society in which all serve their required function. However, citizenship implies a degree of control, some voice in the governance of the state. Even in nations founded on the ideal of citizenship, this concept can be fraught. For example, residents of Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. do not share the representation and voting rights of residents in places like Wyoming or Colorado. Roman citizenship, which permitted voting and office holding, was a complicated affair. At its most restrictive, Roman citizens were children of free citizens of Rome, the city, not the empire. However, others could achieve citizenship, or at least some degree of citizenship, via serving in public office or completing public duty. Over time, wider spheres of Roman life were granted some degree of legal rights. One might hold ius commercii, property rights, but not ius connubii, marriage rights. In 90 BCE, most of these distinctions were erased by the Lex Julia de Civitate, which extended Roman citizenship to loyal states. Later, the Edict of Caracalla in 212 CE extended it further to all free men in the empire. Exercitus Romanus. The Roman army was a vast, dynamic, and often influential entity throughout most of Roman history. By the Republic's end, its military was composed of a large number of Roman legions, heavy infantry levied from the ranks of citizens, supplemented by recruits and mercenaries who could fill out the other necessary tactical roles. Under Augustus, this military body was reconstituted into a professional army whose volunteer members served for extended periods. The composition of armies evolved further as horses were added, and new auxiliary troops taken from Rome's non-citizen subjects replaced the ad hoc insertion of foreign auxiliaries. These auxiliary troops were numerous. A Roman army might be composed of 9/10 non-Roman troops, containing a fraction of the heavy infantry iconic to the legions. Legatus pro praetore. As with most empires, Rome was constantly concerned over its control over distant spheres of power. While core provinces were administered by elected governors, more distant provinces, such as Britannia, Syria, Lusitania, etc., were directly controlled by the emperor. Governors were always senators of relatively high rank and headed the provincial administration and military forces of that region, excluding taxation. These systems consolidated the personal power of the emperor. Augustus deliberately engineered the system in this way, ensuring the legatus pro praetore of Egypt, Rome's most powerful province, was the lowest in rank. Senatus Populusque Romanus. SPQR, Senatus Populusque Romanus, stands for the Senate and People of Rome, the whole of the government of the Roman Republic. Note here the word Rome. This refers not to a political entity, e.g. the Roman Empire, but rather the city of Rome. Men born in the city itself had particular rights not immediately granted, at least in the Republic and early Empire, to those born in the rest of Italy, much less in far-flung provinces. The label SPQR appears from AD BCE, in the late Republic, to the reign of Constantine in the mid-300s. During the Empire, too, the slogan is notable for its meaninglessness. In an imperial system, both Senate and people are spoken for by the emperor. What is notable here, though, is a reversal of a notion of divine kingship. In the latter, power flowed downward from the heavens to the king to the people, whereas in Rome, power derived from the people. Well, the people of the city of Rome, at least.